Hello, I'm Doğa Erdal and this is my PHYS102 experiment. The name of my experiment is Faraday cage ice pail experiment. And the main goal of this experiment is to understand the concept of charges in conductors. And for that, in this experiment, an ice pail will be charged by contact by electrostatic induction, and also electrostatic shielding concept will be examined by using a charged material and a conducting object. In this experiment, my equipments are ice pail, two charge producers with blue and white ends, and then electrometer. I use electrometer in this experiment to measure more precisely as the voltage values are small. For the first part of my experiment, first I will rub the charge producers together and place them one by one inside the ice pail and measure the value in the electrometer. And then I will repeat the same process for the one with the white end and then measure together. Next, I will ground the ice pail and rub these together again, but this time I will touch charge producers to the inner surface of the ice pail and then measure the voltage value. And then to understand the conservation of charges, I will when I rub them together and measure the voltage value, after I take them away, I will measure the value I read in the electrometer for them to understand the concept of conservation of charges. And I will repeat the same process when I not just place inside but touch to the inner surface too. And next, I will again rub them together like this and place the blue one outside of the ice pail and measure the value I see in the electrometer. And then I will repeat the same process for the one with the white end. And next, after placing them outside, I will repeat the same processes, not just by placing them outside, but also touching to the outer surface. And then I will again read the values in the electrometer. And after that, when I take them away, I will observe the value in the electrometers and to understand how the surfaces are charged in the ice pail. In the second part of this experiment, I aim to observe the conservation of charges by rubbing these charge producers outside and placing them inside of the ice pail one by one, and then rubbing and then grounding the ice pail and doing the same process by rubbing these in the inside of the ice pail, just like that. And I will take them out by one and determine how the charge of the blue charge producer and white producer separately, and I will record the value I see in the electrometer for each of them. For the first part of this experiment, when I rub the charge producers together and place a blue one inside the ice pail without touching the inner surface, the values I found was showing that it gives 26 volts approximately, and that was the ideal value. However, I also obtained 25 and 22 volts too, and this was due to the error rate of this experiment. Also, when I placed the white charge producer inside without touching, the values I found was really close to 26. However, they varied with small amounts, and this was also due to the error in experiment. Also, when I rub these charge producers together and place them outside the ice pail one by one, the values I found was the opposite charge of the first parts. For instance, when I placed the blue one inside the ice pail, I got a positive value. However, when I placed the blue one outside without touching, I got negative values, and it was just like it was the case for the white one too. In the white one, when I placed it inside, I got negative values, and when I placed it outside, I got positive values, just like the way I was expecting. However, when I placed them outside, the absolute value of the values were higher than when I placed it inside. So this was also due to the error. For the second part of the experiments, I was observing the conservation of charges. So when I rubbed them outside and measured the potential difference while putting the charge producers inside one by one, and when I rubbed these charge producers inside the inner surface of the ice pail, the values I found was different, and this were showing me that the charges are not conserved in this experiment. This was also due to error. The error in this experiment was dependent on the observer, as the observer may misread the value in the electrometer, and also the error margin of electrometer, the free charges in air, as these charges may affect the value of potential difference value in the ice pail, and also due to the malfunctioning of the charge producers, when I rub them, although their absolute values must be the same and they must be charged with opposite signs, the values they have was different. So this created the error in the experiment. Thank you for listening.